That frilly ass bed behind Alfred. Shit.
Siempre
What
con
if-
la mierda de la fucking cama.
Motherfucking
Is
look
that
like
you wanna
Cindy
sleep
Crawford.
on it,
Like
nigga? Is that what it is?
The Cindy Crawford collection you got over
Yeah.
there.
Let me see. Yeah, so whenever you make money off Robinhood, whether it's stock or crypto, I'm pretty sure at the end of the year you get a 1099 to pay taxes
Yeah.
on whatever you earned.
Yep.
Okay.
But I mean, because I mean, it is whatever though. Like,
By
I
the
literally
way,
went in there like with 100. First, I invested $5 at 28 cents per coin. 2 cents per coin. I'm sorry, and I was just like, fuck it. And I just put $100 and like it's just going
YOLO.
up.
Hey,
I know
sometimes
what-
those
Yeah.
YOLO plays really pay out.
Yeah, bro.
So
I know
that's-
somebody who
Sometimes
has
you get
1,500
burned.
into it.
No, shut the fuck up. That's crazy. And so how is the? I thought the markets. I mean, I'm the ignorant one here, clearly. So how is it that you guys can keep trading if the markets close already?
Well, crypto doesn't close.
That's just around the clock.
Crypto's around the clock. So crypto is not FDIC or SPIC insured. What that means is that it's not
Lose
like
your
it's
money,
not a
they
stock
can't
at all.
guarantee you shit.
Yeah,
Nothing with your securities there are gonna be mattered. If something
Yeah.
happens, they cannot assure you for any amount of money at all. If the brokerage crashes and your shit gets flushed, they can't do nothing about it.
with crypto,
so
yeah,
there's
that's like
You
There's
have
no fiduciary
securities
responsibility.
already in different companies that are FDIC insured and are monitored by the SEC. Then you can go ahead and file a claim, and you can be basically paid back into a certain portion.
right.
But you can't do nothing with crypto. Crypto.
Crypto,
So what?
you alone.
So wait. So who's stopping them from just saying like, it's my money now, bitch. See ya. Like, who's stopping them?
Well, the thing about crypto is this: it's decentralized. No one really
Nobody
owns
controls
it.
Okay.
There's no government
doesn't
body
have
or
a hand
company
in it
that owns
'cause
it.
they never. I don't know. Then you want to break it down to him, explain to him how crypto came to be with Nakamoto.
Like what? Like how it came to be originally?
I thought it was Bitcoin, and that's it.
Nakamoto. Nobody knows who the original. By the way, the original guy has. I'm not sure if it's like 10 million coins of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin itself has a set number that can exist.
21
time.
billion or million. I don't know one of those.
More than that cannot exist. There's still mining for it through computers. They have a bunch of computers. It's like a farm,
Right.
and they're mining, and there's like equations that they have to solve, and you get portions of a coin. It's really complex. Like I'll send you a documentary, but it's
It's
really
sad, but
great.
it's crazy because it just all this is like. I mean, I think money, regardless, has become tangible, but it's still abstract. But I know what they're basing their credit off of. You know, it used to be gold. Now it's the credit of whatever
Right.
government or bank is funding their the money at the moment. Who the fuck? What are you guys basing Bitcoin
That's the thing
off
though,
of?
with crypto, especially like for Bitcoin, for example, the reason why it's worth 31,000 right now is because society right now thinks it's worth 31,000. It is all basically constructed based off a community that decides this is the value of a Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what anything's worth is really. It's whatever anybody deems it to be, right?
Right. But
That
yeah,
shit.
like it's just like this shit doesn't. There's no tangibility to it. Obviously, it's just people.
Bro, I have a very analog, logical mind, right? So it works for that. But then when things get so abstract, I understand everything you're saying, but it goes against my very nature to be like, I can buy that. I mean, I get it, but I'm like, I can't put 2 feet on that. I can only like fuck it.
And that's the thing that like logically, yeah, a lot of people, like especially a lot of investors say crypto investing is like, I mean, because it's super risky because you're not investing in a company who's who's consistently bringing in more profit every quarter or every year, and that profit leads to a gain in your portfolio with them. With crypto, you're just banking on that people still hold value and more value in the future to this particular coin for pretty much no particular reason.
Right. Especially if you have a finite amount.
Yeah.
You can cap. I mean, obviously it hasn't been reached yet, right? If people are
Well,
still
no.
dabbling.
Not
It's
yet. Not
close.
yet. They have a
But
set
Bitcoin is
date.
close.
They have a set date that they believe that they'll be able to mine for the last Bitcoin itself. Like you have other coins that are like Ethereum. Ethereum is another one. You have BTC, Cash. You have so many. There's a whole army of different coins that exist.
Right.
But Bitcoin itself is mainly like kind of like the original, and the original that has an actual cap. And in the future, what they see Bitcoin as being is as a replacement of gold, kind of like in a way of gold that is a set amount. It's not so much. I don't know.
It's not like money where you can. Right. It's not like currency like the dollar that's subject to inflation.
So it's kind of like a set thing that you can hold value on, you know, and no government can go ahead and either put their hand in it to manipulate it in any way. See, the dollar will always fluctuate, but as a dollar today is worth less than a dollar 10 years ago and 10 years before that, because the more we print money, we dilute the actual currency.
You inflate it.
You can't do that with cryptocurrency, but at least with Bitcoin. With Dogecoin, that doesn't have an actual set number. People are always going to be up and down, so it's like whatever price we give it. Same thing as Ethereum, same thing as Litecoin, same thing as Cash Coin.
So let me ask you this, for the sake of conversation here. Do you think that this has broken a seal of some type? Do you think, like, obviously there have been very touch and go things like Robinhood, they prevented people and other maybe like, you know, what do you call it, brokerages that stopped you guys from being able to buy stuff. But do you think that now that people are able to get ahead of hedge funds and things like that, shorting stocks, what consequences, both good and bad, for whomever do you think is going to come from this?
I think the good is going to come on our side, because I feel like people realize that, you know, we kind of have strength in numbers with these kind of things. If we could band together and because the thing is, like, you explained it perfectly on your Instagram story, what shorting is. And essentially, it's pretty screwed up that they can do something like that and manipulate the market in that way.
Right.
And then I feel like this is a good thing on our end, that we can do the same thing. Somebody just discovered what kind of position these shorters were at. And we're like, okay, well, if they decided to take that position, then let's take this position together. And
right.
We fucked them right back.
That's a fucking hell of a concerted effort, bro. Look, so I asked a good buddy of mine that is really into, you know, like trading and things like that. He does it in a very traditional standpoint. So I sent him what I reposted, and I asked him, what are your thoughts? He goes, about the accuracy of the above or my sentiment? And I'm like, both. So he's like, he goes, well, obviously what you explained what short is, no problem. The GameStop situation happened is not accurate, but it's still true. I don't really know what he meant by that. So he goes, a fair and balanced approach is to consider that many people on Robinhood trade on margin, basically borrow money, and there are dangers for them. But my bottom line is that Wall Street got played and they changed the rules, super fucked up. I'm actually going to whatever. And then, give me a second. So when I asked him, I was like, I've been hearing a lot about market manipulation on the end, from the standpoint of the little guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but is exactly. But I asked him, I was like, but isn't shorting some form of that? But he goes, shorting the stock isn't manipulation by its own. However, he goes, that becomes a speculative derivative play versus an investment. But I say, okay, that's taken, but something that was able to be discovered by the people on Reddit or whomever was that the person that discovered what they were doing, obviously saw that there was a concerted effort on the behalf of these hedge funds, i.e. these hedge funds were stepping in lockstep. You know what I'm saying? They were stepping. So you know what I'm saying? So it shows you that it's not just speculation. This was manipulation.
Yeah, really.
Because they said, hey, we're going to go ahead and short this. We know the consequences of shorting. The stock is going to drop at some point. We're going to buy it back. We're going to make some money, and we're going to give it back. That backfired.
The thing about it was how the guy saw, which is, I think he goes by two different names, Deep Effing Value and Roaring Kitty. That's the guy's main code name that he goes on Reddit.
Right.
Wall Street Bets. So what he was able to do was he saw that this company was being shorted to a percentage that the shares that were shorted were more than the shares outstanding. So it was being shorted 130%, meaning you're selling these shares that you don't currently own to buy them back later at a cheaper price. But the problem is, if us as a community go in there and buy and raise up the price and try to buy all the shares outstanding, what happens is when it's time that those contracts for the short calls are coming up on Friday, when they have to buy back, and they were hoping that the price went down so they can make their earnings and cover their puts, they're not going to be able to do that now. So they're going to have to buy it at a higher price. But the problem is everybody who was buying was not selling.
Right.
And by definition of contract, they are required to give back those shares that they shorted. So if I borrow 10, I got to give back that 10. But the problem is everybody's buying up the rest of the shares and nobody wants to sell those 10. So now you're stuck. So now I own 10 and you have obligation to give those 10 back. I'm like, I'll give it back to you if you pay me $1,000 per share now, because I don't want to give up.
When did this situation with GameStop, which kicked everything off, when did that start? Because I really saw the first of it myself yesterday.
I think, what, last week?
Oh, it's been already there.
It got ramped up that way, but Deep Valley, the Reddit user, he put in back in 2019, late 2019, 50 grand into GameStop.
Oh yeah, that's when he went balls deep in that.
He called us a while ago. Then some of the CEO, some of the owners of Chewy, this pet online e-commerce thing.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
They also, I think last year sometime, bought into GameStop, realizing that the new consoles were coming out and stuff like that. And then I think as soon as like shit started hitting the fan, when Friday, this Friday is when the short, they have to start selling it back. People on Reddit were just like they realized how much money this guy was making, and this guy pretty much pioneered it. He was like, hey, on Wall Street Bets, he was like, look, like, this is what's going on. This is what the short sellers are doing. This is what I put in. This is what I've made. And they're in a tight position. He's like, everyone just go buy GameStop stock. And that was a couple weeks ago.
That's crazy. So where was the stock at before everybody rushed?
Well, I know the stock last year, this time was at $3 a share.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
So people were making a lot of money. The thing about it was, when they have when you buy them early enough and you have these very valuable shares now, they call it diamond hand, meaning the longer you hold, the better it fucking gets.
Right.
The thing about it is, the same way the bankers and the hedge fund managers were buying and going short on contracts, the people buying the shares were also putting in call options going long. So they were buying each contract, which is 100 shares, also additional contracts, plus the short contracts that these people have. There's not enough contracts to cover everybody. So what happens is somebody's gonna get locked out. And when you get locked out, you're gonna have to liquidate a lot of your personal assets to cover your calls.
Right, and so that's why they're some of these are filing for bankruptcy, right?
Yeah, there was $5.5 billion by, I think his name is what's his name, Lewis or Melvin Capital, by Citadel. He's actually a backer of Robinhood, which I found out yesterday. He actually funds, in a way, Robinhood as a backer. And I did not know that. And no wonder everything happened the way it did today. It's like,
right.
It was too coincidental. It's like, why is it locked out now? We're only being forced in a two-way street, buying and selling. We're forced to sell. We can't buy. We can't open option calls. There's nothing else to do. So they went ahead and had some friends of theirs, most likely, go ahead and shut down Wall Street Bets and the direct forum on the website. So that basically caused chaos. People started selling their positions and starting the process of moving their money over to other brokerage accounts. TD Ameritrade also blocked Robinhood, AMC, BlackBerry, Nokia, Castor Maritime, which I had a bunch of shares because I've been doing my research on them. And,
wait, you just dropped dude.
BlackBerry.
Dude. Chew this for me a little bit, dog. Because I hear BlackBerry, Nokia,
there's
and I'm thinking 2005 cell phones, dog.
There's a list of companies that they're being shorted, and those are some of the companies. But what happens is, let me get back to this point in regards to how the price gets pushed up.
People's gonna give me a Panasonic.
No. You're gonna be like, oh, it's kind of like they call it an infinite money glitch. So this
Zenith.
is when the people buying all the shares and the long call options, they're raising the price as they're buying. But because the short sellers have to eventually close their calls to cover and give back those shares, whenever they buy at whatever its price is at, they're having to buy, meaning they're also raising the price, and then the other people are raising the price. So you're getting that money that's why it went up so fast, because the short sellers have to buy to close and basically cut their gains and their losses. So it's been just, you outdo me, I'm gonna outdo you, and nobody's selling from this side, so you better keep pushing that price up. And it was
So what do you guys think this means for GameStop then, who's just sitting back?
I mean, honestly, they released a statement, I think, today, but
thank you.
yeah, basically,
we're still gonna fucking try you when you bring 75 fucking mint condition games.
The thing about it is, listen, the thing about it is, Jay, the thing about it is, I was telling my girl and I was telling my coworkers, it's not about the fundamentals of the company. It's not even about GameStop itself.
Yeah, I know.
It's about the system of how it was being shorted.
Yes,
that I know. Was being
it could have been anybody. It could have been GameStop. It could have been fucking
Toys R Us.
BBY, which is Bed Bath & Beyond, is going out of business. They also, that's another big company that they've been shorting for years. AMC, because everybody knows what's going on with the pandemic and all that craziness. Was
HBO Max.
Dale.
HBO Max also? I thought they were doing well.
Well, no, HBO Max is low-key killing movie theaters right now.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Got it. But they're not even charging you extra to watch the movie. They're like, hey, you're already a member, here you go.
Yeah, come on in.
Granted, bro, had I paid 25 cents for Wonder Woman, I would have been pissed off. Boy, that shit was dookie, dog. That shit was... Bro, that was caca with corn in it. Let me just tell you.
It was hard to pass, boys.
Bro, I wish I
didn't see the first one.
I saw the first one. The first one was entertaining. It was cool. I'm not gonna lie.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
Bro, la tipa ahí with la cosita esta.
Yeah.
You know, and she's pretty, whatever. You can look at that. This one was, bro. Like, I want to get that turd and put it back up the ass it came out of, bro. That shit was horrible, bro. Like, they still, like, I'm not even gonna. This is not even a spoiler.
Don't tell me, because I don't want to hear it. You know, Duke.
This is out of context. Trust me, look. This is out of context. This is. It's not gonna spoil the movie. The movie was already a.
This is already spoiled the way you said it.
Yo, check it, bro. They need a plane. I'm gonna tell you who. Wonder Woman's among them. And they just fucking go into like this Smithsonian museum of aviation that happens to be like a block away from the from the White House. No security. They hop on the plane that hasn't moved in a century. They fucking fly that shit without even checking if it has gas.
I was gonna say they didn't have no gas.
To Egypt, bro. That shit, like, they fly to Egypt, bro. And then I'm like, oh, I know where this is going, because they're like, oh, we got radar. Oh my god, all right, here's the thing. So then they're like, oh, how are we gonna solve this problem? And I'm like, oh, of course, Wonder Woman, this is one of her shittiest features anyway. Like, she doesn't fly necessarily. She has an invisible jet. Oh.
So where the fuck did you get the jet from?
She has that invisible American Airlines right quick, dog.
It's like Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
E-190.
She goes through invisible TSA. Like, she does all shit. She eats invisible peanuts.
No.
You know, all that stuff, bro.
Good
and
nuts.
I'm like, so lo and behold, they're getting fucking shot at, and all of a sudden, please, stealth mode. Okay, I buy it, no problem. Oh, mind you, all the time she's sort of losing her powers. I'm not gonna tell you why.
Tell me, bro. I'm not gonna watch it.
She has diabetes or something.
So
I'm weak, my sugar.
She has congenital heart disease.
Can't hit.
I think I eat too much ropa.
Toma tu cafecito.
For real.
When did we
get sugar up?
I'll tell you, fuck you up. Sugar will fuck you up, dog. Yo, so she made a wish to have the guy that died in the first movie, her boyfriend, come back. The guy comes back out of nowhere. Wearing
Hold
80s
on.
clothes.
Like the movie Ghost, nigga?
Bro, it might as well have been that, bro. I wish they would have given me a little pottery scene and everything.
Yeah, no. Girl,
And people comes out of nowhere, but he basically inhabits somebody else's body, right? The guy to everybody else looks like the person that he's inhabiting, except to Wonder Woman. It looks like her boyfriend that died
So,
60 years ago.
hold on.
What shit is this?
So el tipo
No,
puede ser un
it is
feuco
not.
y se juntó con la tipa esa.
Have you ever seen Shallow Hal?
Yeah, I love Shallow Hal.
Nene, you ever seen Shallow Hal?
Nah, never seen
Oh.
it.
It's a funny ass movie, dude. So
We
it's,
gotta
it's
take him to
basically-
AMC.
Yeah, you guys are about to own that shit anyway. It's the CEO over here.
Yeah.
Let's push it. Hey, it's
We
back
have a
on
whole 5
Robinhood, by the
shares.
way. Go ahead and
People
get it. Well, I don't know if they're gonna be pushing it no more. I don't know what's going on today. But tomorrow morning is gonna be an interesting morning when I drink my
Well,
coffee. So.
If you want to buy AMC stock, you got to do it through Cash App. That's the only one.
no, you can buy it now again through Robinhood. They just unlocked it 20 minutes ago for some
Cash
reason.
out.
First, it was options trading. I was like,
I didn't know about Cash App until like
Yo, send me your
3
Zelle.
hours ago.
People
Hmm?
buying that shit through Zelle.
But
you're saying
Buy
that shit
that shit
the
through
wrong bank
Amazon now.
account.
De pinga. Wait, what was I gonna tell you, bro? Oh yeah, so real quick, Shallow Hal. Shallow Hal is a movie about Jack Black, and he's a guy that's very shallow. His name is Hal. There you go. And so something happens where he starts seeing the beauty within people, so that he falls in love with this lady that is an absolute, like a huge lady, right? She's a
Right.
tank, and everybody sees it.
Mm.
Y la tipa, this was like 20 years ago or so, and so the lady that plays the version of the inside, which is the beautiful person, you know, and all this stuff, is Gwyneth Paltrow, back when Gwyneth Paltrow was like in her prime, right?
Right.
So he sees only that, bro. He's like in love with her, and there's a scene where she goes to do it. They're in the pool, right? And everybody's seeing this fucking huge lady, and Jack Black sees this beautiful chick in a bikini, and she does a fucking cannonball in the fucking water. All the water gets out of the pool. Y la tipa's all skinny to him. He's like, what the fuck is going
He's like,
on?
what the fuck did happen?
Yeah, so
La
basically,
chiquitica
this is
se
what-
tira. Ay,
Plush. Tanque. Bro.
Damn,
yeah, shit, go, bro. Damn.
That water displacement, boy. Yo, so basically, this is Shallow Hal Part 2, honestly. It's
With the fucking
superpowers.
boyfriend coming from the dead. Wow.
Yeah, so what happens is that because she made a wish, whatever is most valuable to her, she loses or starts to lose, right? There you go, Wonder Woman Part
You
2.
better not hope for world peace. That shit gonna be draining.
I hope there's no part 3, bro.
Bro, just
Hey, in
honestly-
part 3, she wakes up from the dream. Oh man, I had a weird dream, bro.
Damn.
Back to the
You know what,
Smithsonian.
she's gonna bro. Hey,
Oh,
learn, hey, Alfred, learn how to pronounce the word first. But I think it goes the Smithsonian.
Smithsonian, there.
Smithsonian.
Smithsonian. I don't even know.
I'm going back to the Stankonia.
Stankonia, hey,
I'm going back to the cubic zirconium.
Yeah,
Yo.
B.O.B. baby.
Yo, Nan, what's
No,
up with your boy? What you up to, man?
Bruh, I actually started full time this week. You know, I was
At the
at
bank?
Chase. At
Okay.
Chase, yeah. So I was 20 hours while I was doing school. I
Cool.
decided this year I'm gonna take a break from school because computer science was quite overwhelming, and I kind of want to make more money right now.
Taxing
So
on the brain.
yeah, so I accidentally walked into like a good opportunity at work. I put my I put my 2 weeks in, and then 20 minutes later they were like, "Well, how would you like to be a banker?" And so I was like, "Yeah, fuck it." And so basically, I was promoted to banker 1, but then the next Friday after me accepting that offer, they decided to get rid of banker 1s and make them banker 2s, which are
Oh,
licensed
shit.
bankers. Yeah, which are
Okay.
licensed bankers. So I was like, so dropping out of school and putting my 2 weeks in got me a nice career, basically.
Okay.
Yo, so give me some framework as to.
I'm about to go
what-
quit my job.
Yeah, for real. Everybody about to go
You're
work.
You're
in the
promoted to
bank.
CEO, homie. Let's
Let me get on fucking Lappy, bro. Let me get a pen right quick, done.
go.
Yo, I need
We're
a small
gonna go ahead and get
business
promoted.
loan, Nene.
Hey,
Yo,
I
for
got
real,
you.
hang on. So banker 1, it was what, and then banker 2 is how different.
So I'll start by saying this. They decided to give get rid of Banker 1s because they decided they were so similar to Banker 2s. But the difference is Banker 2s are licensed bankers. So again, with investments and stuff, bringing that topic up again, they're able to make commissions on investments brought, to Chase by our clients. So Banker 1s and Banker 2s are not that different at all. That's why they decided to just say, fuck it, make them Banker 2s.
Consolidate that, right, exactly.
So everybody that was a Banker 1 has to take their licensing test, and if they don't want to do it, then they could just go down to a teller, which most of them don't want to do that.
Of course.
So yeah, pretty much all the Banker 1s are going through licensing. I'm the third one in line in my branch, so September I'll start training for my license. And that license, and the sweet thing about it is that at Chase is that, yeah, you'll be licensed to open investment accounts, but they don't even require you to do that. They just have you send it off to the financial advisor. He'll take care of it, and you just make the commission off whatever he brings in.
So you just gotta suggest it, and if they're open to listening to how to set it up,
bro, this is how it goes down.
Over and that's it.
Yeah, the way I see it, someone comes into the branch, right? They're like, hey, I got about $150,000 I want to bring over from XYZ Bank. Who do I talk to? Come here. What's your name? How much you want to bring?
Let me talk to you, bro.
Maggie. No, so then it's like, what's your name? What's your phone number? And how much you want to bring? You ask them more about what they're trying to do with that money. And then you say, okay, well, I set you up an appointment with our financial advisor. You can see him next Tuesday. And you send him out. You're like, get out. And then whatever the financial advisor closes, you make a commission out.
Wow.
Yeah. And then you get, and they're also talking about raising the hourly wage for bankers from like 17 to 20. So it'll be $20 an hour plus commission.
That's a good living. That's not bad
at
all.
What's the minimum that somebody can open an account, and what restrictions do they have?
Well, there's different types of accounts. In terms of investments accounts, I have no idea yet. I'll find out, I guess, September when I start my training. But like a regular smuggler account, man, even the big ones, because there's like 4 different ones, you just need to fund it with at least $25 within the 60 days, and you're fine. But I mean, most people just bring in whatever racks they got. Yeah. But it's a pretty cool gig. I mean,
yeah, it's not my end all be all,
but I just want to make money. It's funny because I still live with my parents, with my mom. And before this whole GameStop shit popped up, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make extra income. I'm gonna look into maybe doing some stock market investments and stuff like that. And then this shit pops off. I'm like, I'm a little fucking too late.
Listen, I'll tell you this: you're never too late. Like I was telling Jay and a lot of my friends, last year when the whole crash happened, I didn't know anything about stocks, like anything. And I started studying on the weekends. Saturday, Sunday, I wake up early, got my coffee, sat down by the computer, and just did my research. I'm talking about learning everything I could.
Well, what did your research consist of? Like, where do you go? Because a lot of people don't know where to go. Like me, for example.
Well, basically, I found a couple of helpful channels, which are financial channels that kind of give you the basics of certain things, how to read an annual report, quarterly reports, what is PE, forward PE, what does that mean, and how does it correlate to the company's current either success or failure and how they're managing their company.
Right.
So I started seeing it. I'm like, there's different kind of investment styles. There's aggressive growth companies, like and then there's other companies that are just boring companies, blue chip companies that are just companies that don't really move, like General Mills, AT&T, companies Amazon, that don't really fluctuate. And with those companies, it's interesting because
wait, do you mean General Electric?
General Mills cereal.
I think it was like, yo, I invested in Cocoa Puffs.
No, GE has gone down the drain. It's low right now, and hasn't been
those box tops.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this:
they're great.
All jokes aside, there's a lot of money to be made, a lot of risk involved. You got to know your risk tolerance. That's one thing I tell all my friends. Know your risk tolerance. Don't look at
Don't invest it if you're not okay with losing.
Great. No, but
of course,
it ain't about what one person is doing. Everybody has their own course and what stocks they want to go into. I can't tell anybody to do something because if something goes belly up and you lose all your money,
it's not your fault.
I'm not licensed, broker. Yeah. So that's the thing. And I had a couple plays that I made last year. My first play that I really started learning when to, cash out and get some gains, cut some gains out was with Moderna. And those are people actually working on the vaccine right now. Their
Right.
share was at that moment like at $30-something, $40-something dollars. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna YOLO $300 in stock over the weekend. That Monday, there was great news that Moderna has stepped up stage 1 on their clinicals for the vaccine. The next day, the stock was opening up like at close to $90. So I tripled my money that I put in. And I saw it opening up here, and then I started going down, and I didn't realize, cash out, you idiot. I'm thinking that wave would never stop. I'm like, oh, look, it's already high. It's gonna keep going higher. That's not how the market works. Sometimes you gotta know when to cash out, at least take some profit and leave the bases there, but take some profit. It's good to take profit sometimes.
Right.
Then I did the same thing with Nikola. I started doing my research. I liked a couple of things that have potential, and they were going through a merger. When they merged, I had the merger company at that moment. They opened up. I bought it in like at $16 or $14. It went up to $80 when they opened up. So I made a couple $1,000s. And I basically sold. I learned my lesson from Moderna. I was like, I ain't fucking around. I started seeing a couple of things about the company I didn't like. I got out. Perfect timing. The company went down to the shitter. The main CEO ended up stealing a whole lot of money, and it was not pretty. And then from there on, I started doing my research. I got into a company called NIO.
Yeah, the Chinese electric car manufacturer.
I bought in when it was at $5. I bought 200 some shares out loud. And I was okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I bought into another company at $3 a share, which is NMDM, Nano Dimensions, 3D printing. I bought a bunch. And then I bought a bunch of other companies, and I sold them all because I needed the money of whatever I made to buy a car. Because at that time I was like, oh shit, I gotta return my car in. I need to get a car.
Right.
Biggest mistake ever. I should have just left the money there. I would have had a couple
Should
extra.
take the bus, boy. You better should have taken Uber, son.
Bro, I could have literally had
electric scooters,
5 different cars right now parked outside. But you live, you learn, and now I'm back out of the game, making good moves.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like this whole thing that happened, obviously this is like a once in a lifetime kind of event, but like this reassures that notion for me that I just really need to start getting into investment, because I heard it somewhere like a savings account in 10 years is not going to make you anything. If anything, you're going to lose money because of inflation.
Right. So the value of the money that's sitting there under, let's say under 2% right now that it's at, so close to 1.
Yeah.
You're losing money by just having it sit there not doing nothing.
Right.
At least in the market right now, I'm averaging like 25 to 30% return on the money I'm investing. Right now, you could basically throw your money at mostly any company.
The only time saving money is worthwhile is if you have a specific plan in the short term.
Right.
Like if you're trying to build capital, right, and you don't want to source that or whatever, you just want to be able to, and obviously how much money could you realistically save in the short time that you need for that. But if you are just looking to, like just stash your money somewhere that could yield you some stuff. And not just that, but one of the things that I really haven't you guys haven't mentioned too much, which I think you guys specialize more or lean more into trading. But what about having stocks that do well enough to just pay you dividends every quarter?
That's the blue.
Those are like the blue chip stocks, right?
Right.
Those are
and that's just those, I mean, obviously that's not like a home run, but that's like having some passive income, right?
I'll tell you this, that is definitely passive income. The main guy that is mostly known for blue chip boring companies, and he rakes in millions upon millions of dollars, Warren Buffett. He loves Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola pays a massive dividend. AT&T pays a massive dividend, but AT&T, the fundamentals, because they've made a lot of bad decisions, it's been a company that people are not so comfortable holding sometimes.
A little riskier.
But a lot of other companies pay a hell of a big dividend that you can basically live off of. There's a lot of people that use basically something called the FIRE movement. Financially independent, retire early. People that try to retire in their early 20s, they save up. There's a couple that I follow that they work government jobs. They saved up. They put it on the ETF, and basically it grew, and they were putting smart decisions on some companies. And now they live in Barcelona, basically in a mansion, and they live off of dividends and their some portion of their growth investment. So it's like You can make it happen, bro. Listen, you're never too old to start.
That's the one. That's the one place that I've been to internationally that I can say I'd move in the drop of a hat.
Oh, it's beautiful. Bro.
Barcelona.
Barcelona, boy, that shit is something else.
I haven't even left Florida, man.
Oh, we gotta take that. We gotta take that. Let's go.
Bro, I had opportunities to go to Cuba, Nicaragua, Canada.
I got an idea.
Stay with Xbox.
I got an idea.
Dog, hold on. I gotta interrupt with that because one of the things that I could tell you, I mean, I did a little bit, like minuscule, you could barely call it that, but a little bit of traveling before V. Obviously, V came along 10 years ago, and V was the reason that she drove me to get my passport. Right. Obviously, after that, you know, went across the Atlantic a couple of times, went to, you know, Peru. The Xbox is great. Anything, you know, all these, anything is fine. Right. The experiences that you see traveling, bro, they stick with you in a different way, man. Like I literally got to see Machu Picchu with my own eyes. I got to fucking climb up.
Machando el pico.
Bro, I almost got spat on by a fucking llama, bro. That's how close I got to it.
They give you a little something extra on the way.
Let me tell you, bro, the best. I've been drunk a couple times in my life. I actually haven't had a drink since April because I wanted to go around the sun a whole year without drinking, you know, kind of detox the liver. But bro, the best time I've had being drunk was in Barcelona, bro. We were waiting to do a show, and like we were gonna catch like a flamenco show, and it was gonna be like a tour because Barcelona, although it's in Spain. Hold
on. Hold that thought.
What you got?
We got about less than 30 seconds to wrap up the show. We're gonna pick up that story next time. But we'll
pick it up. Yo, Ned,
I want to get my main man there to go ahead and
for sure.
plug in.
You already know. Just text me whenever, bro. And if I'm not at work, I'm off after 5. I'm with it.
Yo, you still doing your podcast, big dog?
Yeah, we still doing it. We're uploading an episode, I think, tomorrow. And then we're gonna plan to make another episode another day from there. But yeah, man, we're working on it.
Awesome.
For sure. Well, you're a featured guest from now on.
Yes, sir.
I'm with it at all times.
I like that very much so. Yes, sir.
All right, I'll tell you about Barcelona later. I was fucked up.